What's up, guys? Today we have this E46 M3 at the shop today. I'm going to be doing a rear subframe overhaul. I'm going to be reinforcing the subframe with the Reddish Motorsport reinforcement plates and doing the Condor Speed Shop subframe bushings as well as the R-tabs with the limiters. So stay tuned. I'm going to be dropping this entire rear end and then you'll see the process of what I'm doing. All right, guys, as you can see, it's all out. Now I'm going to show you something that many people don't even talk about in the forums. So the reason why the passenger front subframe floor starts to crack first before all four corners, nowhere on the forums I've seen anyone talk about this, but I've noticed it when I did my subframe reinforcement in 2015. So here's the undercarriage, how it looks before I completely detail and degrease and prep all. This is the reason why. If you can see where the bolt goes through, the nut that holds this. See, this mount has an oval design versus the rest of them that are just circular. See that? This area here. This is gonna be real nice to take before and after pictures. The differential is leaking a little bit in the rear seal or the front seal. So I'm gonna get back to work and take some pictures and I'll keep you guys updated. All right, guys, so the subframe floor is pretty clean. I'm gonna go one more time just to get it nice and clean, degreased from all the dirt under here. So far there's nothing broken. The passenger front has a small hairline crack right there, which I'm gonna fix and I'm gonna drill it out and cancel it so it does not continue anymore. This doesn't have any play at all, so it's not broken in there. And as you can see, the driver's side front doesn't have any cracks or any markings. So that play of the bushing, that oval play, that oval design is what causes this. There's also a small hairline crack on the driver's side rear. I'm gonna drill that out and cancel it so it doesn't spread anymore. And the bushing like the passenger does. See that bushing that no one talks about? All that play did that, and that's why it cracks. It's not because BMW did a shitty design on the subframe floor, which they could have used a thicker metal, but the reason why it starts to crack first is because from there to there, nothing on the passenger rear. And I'm gonna check the arch back here where the spring perch is. Usually likes to crack, usually cracks around here. Mine had a small hairline crack. I drilled it out, canceled it, and then welded it. That you have to weld. But when it comes to this over here, I'm gonna go and do the panel epoxy from 3M. If the subframe floor was broken, I would weld it, but the panel epoxy from 3M, I don't know, the pretty tough stuff. So a lot of you people are not gonna believe into that, but there are some threads on the forums that talk about it. That stuff's rated under a certain PSI. I forgot, I think it's like 2,500 PSI or something, which is more than enough for partner from the top of my head. I used it on my car in 2015 and I haven't had a single issue since. And I drive my car pretty fucking hard. If you prep the area correctly and put it on there, that shit does not move ever again. What's up, guys? Back again on the subframe job. I am test fitting the Reddish Motorsport reinforcement plates. You have to shape them to the car as best as possible so you have the best contact touching the body. You don't want to have big gaps like this one right here. I'm going to take out and pre-bend it. You see that? You don't want to have that, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out and pre-bend it so it has more contact patch. So I'm test fitting all of them. This as well was shaped into there in here. So when I put the panel epoxy on the plates and sand I have to scuff the area obviously. I'm going to put the panel epoxy and then bolt this back on, and whatever oozes out of the sides or the holes, if it doesn't ooze out, I'm going to put the epoxy because this sticks flat out when it's new. And as well as here, look how tight that is over there. Nice and tight. Same thing over here. This used to be like flat sticking out with a huge gap under here, so I shaped it in. So through here until it oozes out, because you want everything covered inside here and here as well. This mount as well. That's what these holes are there for, either to weld or for the epoxy to ooze out of there so it has a nice contact patch. So in the next video, I will show you guys of it being already epoxied and ready to dry for the next day. All right, so I forgot to include in the previous video that I canceled out and drilled the stress cracks over here so they don't spread out any further on the car. And also, this is, as well as the passenger front, I drilled it out, welded. But since they're not, the epoxy method is perfectly fine. And it can hold a lot of pressure, a lot of movement back there, which there isn't anymore because we have solid bushings. So, if you guys didn't know, most of the cars today are put together by using panel epoxy. They don't really use spot welding anymore, or welding. Sometimes welding could weaken the metal, as a matter of fact, especially if you have very thin metal, like how E46 have back here. So this as well is ready. This had no cracks at all, so I'll just test fitting and making sure everything is nice and tight. And later on, I'll post a video and pictures of, you know, all this off, all these lines and evap lines and all that stuff off, so I could put the edge primer and then the undercoating. All right, I'm back on the E46 M3 Sub-frame Reinforcement and bushing replacement. I'm gonna show you guys real quick how it looks under here so far. After I installed the plates overnight, and then this morning I put the edge primer all across the floorboard, and then I put the undercoating on top, and then I just finished it with a base coat of the factory of how I took this down versus how I'm putting it back up. Repaint to color match. You see I did the wheel arches inside to make it look somewhat factory. You can tell someone's been under here and did some work on here. And I'm gonna get to the subframe carrier bushings. These are the Condor Speed Shop Delrin bushings and the R-tabs with the limiters installed. I'm gonna put this on in a few minutes so I can finish this job up. I also changed the front diff seal. It was leaking really bad under here. It was making a mess under there. And I'm gonna finish cleaning this up a little bit because it's not up to my standards right here. But the front of it is. I'll post a before and after picture, springs, heat shield, and then I'm done for today. All right, subframe is back on. It's been on for like 25 minutes now. I'm putting back the sensors, the rear trailing. I'm bolting up the rear trailing arms, then the calipers, bolts with the bushings. So all ready to go. Noisy, but you can hear the vibrations through the cabin of the car. Other than that, the car is solid, drives real nice, and it's ready for alignment since the camber and the toe has been played around with in the back as well as the front. All right, guys, back again finally with this car. This E46 M3 is ready to go. If you guys don't remember, I did the Condor Speed Shop subframe bushings, Condor Speed Shop rear trailing arm bushings, Condor Speed Shop front car, but it's a little harsh for him, so he's gonna go back to the OEM motor mounts. But the rest of the car is solid as a rock. Highly recommend these bushings if you want something for track. For street, I kind of don't recommend them. It's a little too noisy. Not control arm bushing, and as well as the transmission bushings. Car is very solid. He did install the Condor Speed Shop motor mounts, which are kind of harsh, but it's a track car. He's building it to be a track car.